The conflict in Ukraine is absolutely devastating to see, as you all know. But developments that have been happening recently, I think, are really indicative of kind of the greater problem. So Ukraine has actually applied to be a member of the European Union. Now, they've said they want to kind of be fast-tracked into that, and President Zelensky obviously is doing this because, I mean, obviously cynically, yes, it's an opportunity to try and sort of bypass some of the rigorous standards that the EU holds to countries before they enter. But you know, it is a genuine sort of plea for help, I think, you know, in this situation. And obviously that's something that Russia really doesn't want Ukraine to have closer ties with the West, to be part of quite a strong political and economic bloc like the EU. But what's also really important, kind of relating to that, is that talks between Ukraine and Russia have apparently broke down. They've stalemated, right? And now satellite images are showing a 40-mile long convoy of Russian military vehicles closing in on Kiev. So Russia, I don't think they had any intention of making those peace talks work unless Ukraine would totally capitulate, and their foreign minister and their president made it very, very clear that they're not going to do that. They are not going to give up an inch of territory, and that's obviously absolutely fair enough. There's also troops and I believe artillery as well that are being stationed just 20 miles from the Belarusian-Ukrainian border. Of course, Belarus is essentially a puppet state of Russia, and will basically, you know, do whatever Russia asks, pretty much. So things aren't improving. But what's very important to know, to remember about this, is that this hasn't gone nearly as well as Vladimir Putin was hoping. Nowhere near as well as the Kremlin would have wanted, or probably even thought. They probably thought it was going to be easier than this. There's been very little progress, according to British intelligence. There's been very, very little progress on the part of the Russians. It was reported that last night, I believe, 70 Ukrainian soldiers were killed in a battle with Russian troops. So people are losing their lives, and you know, Putin's been accused of war crimes. There's all kinds of evidence showing that civilian sort of centres, places where, you know, there are no troops, have been bombed. And of course, there's that very harrowing recording of those very brave Ukrainian soldiers on Snake Island, I think it was, who, the Russian warship, obviously it says, you know, lay down your arms or we'll open fire, and they literally just say, go fuck yourself, and those men died. And I think Vladimir Putin has bitten off more than he can chew. I really do, because Ukraine clearly is very strong and very united. I think he was hoping to sow the seeds of division, right, and create sort of discord amongst the Ukrainian people so that it would be easier to take it. I imagine that was part of the plan, and I think that's part generally of Russia's foreign policy as a whole, to try and destabilise countries by dividing their populations, spreading misinformation, you know, things like that. Getting groups to turn on each other when, you know, they are not each other's enemy in reality. That's kind of the Russian playbook, that's the Putin playbook. And it just doesn't seem to have worked in Ukraine. It's still, you know, too early to say what's going to happen here. And it's entirely possible that Russia defeats Ukraine and takes the country by force. That is entirely possible, and that would be absolutely devastating. But so far, the Ukrainians have shown an amazing level of strength. The Russians said, this was going to be a lightning war. And for those of you that don't know, that's literally the translation of Blitzkrieg, which is the Nazi name for what their style of warfare when they invaded Western Europe. So maybe not a great comparison to draw there, but the point of Blitzkrieg, the point of this lightning war, is to be very rapid, right? To just hit them with so much force in terms of artillery, in terms of air support, that you are basically going to just overwhelm them, and then your troops come in and then actually take the country, right? And I think that was probably partly the plan, and it just has not gone that way. Russia still doesn't have control of the skies. They still, obviously, they haven't taken Kiev at the time of recording this, and Lord willing, they never will. Fingers crossed. But obviously, my heart goes out to everyone involved in this conflict, everyone who has loved ones over there, everyone who is fighting. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting, but you all know that. I'm not saying anything remotely controversial. But Russia, a lot of these young Russian soldiers, they don't even know why they're there. Their families, some of them don't even know they've been drafted. They are just as much the kind of cannon fodder and pawns of Putin and the Kremlin as the Ukrainians. The Russian government doesn't care about their soldiers, any more than the Ukrainians. It just so happens their soldiers are on their side, so it's useful to them if they succeed. That's really all it is. So I think that's worth remembering as the conflict keeps going. But I want to hear your thoughts. Leave them in the comments. Do you think that Putin has really underestimated Ukraine, or do you think that actually this is somehow part of the plan? I don't know. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Thank you all very much for watching, as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.